Yes, the Lord has given us promises. And his promise is not counted in slackness, as other men have counted their promises, but yet is bestowed unto us with long suffering. And it is not in his will that we shall perish, but yet that we shall receive. But yet we turned away and we hardened our hearts, because we saw other gods that had come before us, and we determined that these gods had what we wanted, that we didn't have any more time. But now look at us, busybodies, driving, running around. We have no time for ourselves, because that's how it's been designed, to defeat us, because we didn't want to listen to the commandments that were given to us. Yes, they have controlled the supply chain. It comes out from raw materials. First they get their oil, or they get their precious metals, and those are the components that go into all the products and every good that we see here. It's going to come out of the earth. But how are they going to obtain those goods? Well, they're going to send their goon squad. Yes, the merciless thugs that go about the earth to push the people off the earth. And how do they push the people off the earth? Well, they do it through provocation. They wait until they have the opportunity, and then they attack, and then they hold it against you. And they pin as many charges as they can on you, because they know that you're more likely to take a plea. They've been able to measure the effectiveness of their operations. And then they use these statistics to become more and more effective at what? At taking your money. And they go straight to the poor people. They go straight to the poor people because they know the poor people can't defend themselves. We need lawyers. We don't need a jury. All we need is the Lord, the truth. The truth will defend us. But it's up to us. We have to bring that to light. We have to let the Lord manifest within ourselves, and then we have to come out and we have to speak upon it. Otherwise, we won't see anything happen to this gross inequality that exists in this country. We have this duty that we cannot deny, we can ignore, we can run, we can hide, but we cannot deny it. We have to become organized. We have to learn to organize amongst each other and reason without violating any of these man-made laws, and I know we can do it. But we cannot let any provocateurs get in between us. It is an imperative that we begin our plan of action. We can have a more safer, cleaner community without the police. That's what we've discovered. It's all to do with economics. When people are poor, they commit crimes. If we can eliminate that root cause, we can eliminate poverty. Just gonna be pushed around and bullied all over the place and intimidated. I'd rather have a bullet in my hand than become a measly man like that. I will not live like that. I refuse to live like that. So here we are. We have to organize and we have to execute our plan of action. A community that's centered around equity, fairness, dignity, the real virtues that we aspire to. Yes, they will not find salvation in those things that they have made with their hands, but only that which comes from the Creator, only that which grows out of the ground, comes from the sky, those things of truth, those things of light. Not the things that are carried forth through the prince of darkness into this world to deceive us, give us false hope, false freedom, and a false pride that we lean upon. Make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquities, wasting and destruction is in their ways. Isaiah 59:7. And we have to make this determination for ourselves, how we want to live. If we want to keep running around feeding the supply chain, and letting this rule of law determine our fate. I'm all for the rule of law. We need rule of law. That is what I've come to put down, the rule of law. And once the rule of law gets away from us, it's become so corrupt and so subtle in its oppressive ways, then we have to walk away from that rule of law. Otherwise, we have to subject ourselves to the oppressor. I mean the type of blood that carries through our veins in our spiritual body. And when that blood comes upon the earth, it's a dreadful time for the inhabitants of the earth. For they see everything that they have been blinded to. And finally they have the knowledge that they need. They have the knowledge that they need. But their time has passed. We'll have to nullify the laws out. We'll have to nullify each and every one, because they were implemented through corrupt means. All the wealth was generated through slavery and the deaths and suffering of millions of people. And now the wealth that they sit on, they say, look at us, look at us. Someday if you follow our system of education, you will attain the worldly pleasures that we have. And then maybe you can sit in our seat and look down on others. No, we didn't want that. We still don't want that. Although they may be increasing in number, we still have our base. We still have our foundation. Our foundation exists throughout all time, from the Alpha to the Omega, and their foundation is cracked and corrupt. So we must base our moves, our motivations, our aspirations off of that which we have laid down, and we must lay down that which is natural. Less fortunate to the table to feast with the Lord, because the Lord will not turn them down, and the Lord will not look upon them and say, look at those defenseless people, let's go get them, because we have a better chance of getting away with it. No, the Lord would never operate like such. The Lord would only go after those with the wealth at the top, because he knows those are the real oppressors and those are the real criminals. And they have disguised themselves through their companies, through their shares. Yes, they have disguised themselves through the NGOs, non-government organizations. So they have thrown the soft money around and influenced people. Yes, they're influential. But how influential will they be in hell? In eternal damnation. Who will they influence then? We ride in the morning to strike upon our adversary and avenge the blood of the innocent one. And we will continue to ride. And it is only we're going to achieve what we desire. We cannot achieve what we do not desire. So we must desire the right. If that's what we want to achieve, that must be our goal. And no more laying down, no more hiding, no more pretending things are just going to get better. That somebody up there at the top of the tower is going to pass some law that's going to make things all better. You know, they have these cameras. They don't even record the first 30 seconds of the interaction with the suspect. And by the way, if you have not, are not, or are not about to commit a crime, then the officer has no probable cause to detain you. He has no probable cause to ask for your identification if you have not, are not, or not about to commit a crime. And these are the educations that we must give to our people so we can save ourselves. It will be a conflict because of the mass incarceration. More incarceration in this country than any country in the world, and you can put them together. That includes China. That includes Russia. All these countries that we like to demonize, they have less people incarcerated. And I say it's going to come back to bite them if it hasn't already. I always believe If you're part of a company, you are just as guilty as them. Yes, so we are complicit in these crimes because we have decided that it was too much for us to say something about it. We have to defend the innocent one and the poor, those that have been subject to poverty, so that they could serve and perform their duties, serfhood, to those who rule. And we know where the chain of command comes. It does not come from here, but from another place. Yes, it comes from another place because we are underneath the system of laws that was implemented by the Caesar gang and Augustus. And they carried this system of laws throughout time to this point that we have here now. Yes, and we know that the system of laws is responsible for the death, the murder, for reasons other than that which they had committed. And what do they get to show for it? What kind of compensation do they have? What kind of compensation does their child have for losing their father?